Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. Oh, it looks like I'm a little late today. My box must be like desynced or something. Well, just looking here at the charts, we're at the top of yesterday's range. Possible reversal point for sure, but impossible to say what it will do. Especially since we're just like right here at the open. Don't see any orders really going through here. And I would assume that ES is then probably at the bottom of its range. Yep. We had a good run yesterday. I mean, stock market continues to look good. Well, I don't say continues. I mean, when it was right here, I was like concerned, right? And then got over here, I was like, okay. 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 And then lastly, the Bitcoins. So what are we seeing here in the Bitcoins? Well, so if you look back, let's come back here. So there was this day, July 16th. You see this huge move up in cumulative delta? So that was kind of your long signal, right? Or a signal that some institutional buyers of some sort might be stepping into the market there. Okay. Now look at what happened yesterday. Much bigger, stronger move up. But was it accompanied by the same kind of aberration in cumulative delta? That was like 200. And what happened? We came through here and we're maybe 130 higher versus this teeny tiny little area, and we were up well over 300. Okay, so and this one, look, that only went up $200, and this went up like almost 500. This is like 10%, right? And now I'm kind of looking here. They're not doing anything with it. So this could continue short term, but I'm going to guess that we're going to see the futures expire and they're going to flip. That's my guess. Because the move is not bringing in new people really. In fact, you can see here that a lot of people liquidated here, even though it was a higher low. See, a higher low, but a lower high in cumulative delta, and even more so right here. Big guys are selling. I'll be concerned about what I'm seeing in Bitcoin still, even though did go up. Did go up despite me saying it's just ridiculously overbought. So yeah. Well, let's grab the links here first. And there's this one. Okay, so now we're going to jump into the chat here.
Okay, I'm back.
Hello. Hey, I can hear you. Can
Oh,
you hear me?
cool. The Seth is in here. That's pretty sweet.
Thank, thank you. So I am gonna record still just so that you guys know. So don't say anything like too stupid, but
Okay.
you're all pretty smart, so I think we should be fine.
That's what you think. I gotta switch screen now. I kept getting the double Seth action going on.
Right. I'm not too happy with where we're starting out today because it's right at that 070 again.
Yeah, it seems to be at the top of this kind of range for, I guess, the whole week so far.
Yeah, I don't
Forward to-
I don't remember when it happened, but there was at one point, I just have it marked on my DOM that at one point there was a 13K iceberg at 120.07 in the 10 year. And I don't know if there was a similar order in the 30 year, but it just seems like we've been rotating around that for a really, really long time.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if y'all been keeping up with the open interest and the options for September expiration in the 10-year, but there's a really big call spread between the 120 and 121 calls, and then also the 122 calls. It's kind of split between.
Mm,
It's like they're all like most of the open interest is at 120, and then it's kind of halved between 121 and 122. And so it seems like every time we come down to 120, it gets, obviously somebody doesn't want it to fall out of the spread range. So
that makes sense.
they've been really protecting it.
Oh, yeah, so it's gonna take something to move them out here. Well, I mean, they would have it till the end of the month, right? So, hmm.
Yeah, check. Yeah, September contract doesn't expire till September 19th fully. That's the options. Oh, well, yeah, I guess it is it's 37. They got 37 days left. The open interest at 120 is 280,000. 121 is 172,000, and 122 is 255,000. I'm not getting any. My audio cut out again. Sure did. I just posted that open interest data to the chat. It's a bunch of red data that just came through. Housing starts were negative 12.3%. About 1.5 million under. Building permits were a decent miss.
Yeah, a little bit of a miss. I'm not necessarily surprised because I'm sure that the houses are getting more expensive, especially especially the housing starts being much lower, like that 1.17 versus 132. If everything's getting more expensive to build because of trade wars and stuff like that.
Yeah. Trying to get filled at 11 and a long. Okay, I'm filled. That's in the 30-year, by the way. May have missed it. The DAX is staying strong, unfortunately.
There we go. I was having some problems with one of my accounts, and I'm like, what's wrong? But I think I figured out what my problem was. Paid memberships now shows up in that list. That's interesting. Streaming. I think I'm gonna put an order in here. Be 1800, not 1500, but
Ah, shit. That was quick.
oops, that's not what I wanted. That one.
I'm flat 9. -2.
Man, that that 08 in the 10-year looks awfully menacing.
Yeah. Yeah, they lifted or they hit through 7.5 pretty quick there.
I think I'm just gonna put a stop limit there in case they come up and it pulls or something, and then if it pulls, then probably we could see the other side of this range, so like the 114.5 area. Bring the volume on that down a little bit.
Block cell.
Okay, that was interesting. Somebody, how big of an order was that?
You're talking about the lift of those sevens.
Yeah. Okay, so they traded 3,000 into it. It does look like they went through it, but it went bid again. And there's this huge well, not huge, but relatively big iceberg in the 5-year at 16.5.
Well, we do have Jay Powell speaking at 9, right? Yeah, 9 o'clock testifies. Could be a situation where we sit around and don't do anything until then.
What happened yesterday as well?
Oh yeah, that's right. I totally didn't even see that on the news docket, but yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Happened yesterday too.
And it kind of did this same sort of action yesterday too. Like in the first 40 minutes, it really looked like it was about to do something, but then it didn't.
Well, the bund is acting like it wants to be here a little bit, kind of moving, giving me a bearish bias rates, but there's not really any follow through the 10-year or the 5-year since they lifted sevens and I guess 6.5. I mean 16.5.
Yeah, the delta, the overall market orders in the 5-year have been selling, but only by about 4,000 or so. but this iceberg absorbing 6,000 contracts at 07. I'm kind of wondering. Okay, but then this 08 is not in the 30 years and staying over 1,000.
Those market buys, that iceberg.
Well, so 6,000 sold into 07 and the iceberg bought on the bid. So So it's kind of a situation if they actually take up here, which I mean, there's a pretty big offer there, but I don't know, it's just thick today, I guess. But if they buy through that 0.75, I really do think we could get a move up, because that means there's quite a bit of people trapped trying to short the high. But when I see an imbalance like that, it's impossible for me to say which way it's actually going to go until it's gotten like 2 ticks away from it, right? Okay, well, they bought a couple there.
A lot of them pull. There they go. That was pretty big. Might try along. A whole lot of weakness in the DAX or the ES, unfortunately.
It's kind of weird. Another order just showed up in the, well, not just, but showed up at 0.6 in the bond. So now there's 2 1,000s there below us, and I don't know, that's kind of weird. Whoa. Okay, that time when they, it went off again, and they pushed it up at 7.5, and almost 4,000 traded just like that.
Oh yeah, I see it on tape there. No, that's very back and forth in 7.5.
Well, it definitely shows that their buy interest is there. It's just a question of if there's enough that would come in to get past 0.8 and bring more people in. I'm also kind of getting this, they're just following the 5-year vibe again. So they hit that iceberg at 16.5 and they weren't able to get through it, and then they turned around and were 2 ticks higher in the 5-year. than these other two, they ticked up, but they haven't really gone much So if the 5-year makes a new high, then maybe we could go, but otherwise it's probably just gonna sit here.
So with the bund, just kind of drifting down. Wow.
Okay, that was a pull. Yeah, made a mistake there already.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that 08 pulled when they stepped up to it. You know, we did tick down, but that 08 is not going to hold.
Yeah, it does a bunch of them off of it.
Yep. See, now it's just 5. It's just like any other price.
Yeah.
Block sell.
Okay.
I mean, they're pulling offers 8, but no one's buying up there. Got 3 contracts,
I see.
and the last time we were up there, it was like 340. So actually short at 6.5. I've been there for a while, but I haven't really seen a reason to get out yet. But again, I'm just a demo trader, so
Kind of just want to sit here and buy 9s and sell 10s over and over again in 30 year. But I know as soon as I do, it won't. It'll stop that pattern.
Right.
Bund is still drifting down. A minute ago when I mentioned it, we we're at 13. We're at 11 now. The VWAP is at 163 even in the bund. That's kind of in the mid is 162.98. So that's kind of a good place to, if we do decide to move down, that would be somewhere to watch. Let's see.
Yeah, it's like we're only getting one side of this. The offers are pulling, but they're not. The buyers aren't holding it. that last one, that 3K that went through at 07.5 might have been somebody that was long in deciding that they weren't going to get it and getting out.
What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man.
Yep.
There we go. Low volume node and bund at 9, but I doubt it stops there.
Yep, and
big,
now they're through that iceberg that was in the 5-year too.
big sell
Man,
at
I wish I
7.
had that. Wish I had that 5-year data. Man,
Let's see. Short 8 in the bond, the 30-year bond.
I just got some shorts off too. It doesn't do that well on beige book day.
Oh, is it beige book day? They're probably ignoring beige book since J-Pow is speaking at 9. Or could be. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, just historically, when bonds open up on beige book, up by the close, 40%.
Oh wow. Well, they won't trade 7s. Lifted 6.5 again. Still.
Yeah, I'm kind of noticing that in the 30-year in particular that the bids got thick underneath of us. Well, okay, they pulled some at 7.
What do you think about that when that happens? There's pretty big bids. I think it's like, especially when it starts going down, I think that's pretty bearish.
Well, it kind of depends. Like, I've found that when we're having a trend, that you'll tend to see the level 2 stack up behind it, you know? But you'll also tend to see like these outsized orders on the other side as like targets.
Right.
Right here, it's kind of hard to call because we're still kind of in a range and it's kind of thick on both sides in the 30-year. So I definitely think, that when they ticked down through 07, pretty much killed the case for long, at least for now. Another thing I noticed was that on that last tick up, they had a pretty strong bid. Like it pumped up to like 5 in the 10-year. But then when they actually sold it through, only 2,200 traded. So that must have been a lure.
DAX getting pretty close to its high. It's pit high. I take 7s on my short 8s. 30.
crush my trade.
You're short?
I was short 6.5, yeah. Like when no one was in. But yeah, I got out. Saw some like pulling and stacking a bunch on halves side, so figured it was time to get out.
Probably not going to be very helpful in here. Hours.
Well, it's kind of hard, especially with the voice chat, because when you can get distracted talking, but then you know a lot more about what other people are doing, and that can mess with your head a little bit. That's why I kind of try and focus more on what I'm seeing and not necessarily the trade that I'm taking. That way, it's kind of more of like a here's my general feeling sort of a thing instead of, trying to shadow other people's trades,
7 different things.
Yeah. I do kind of feel like there's a good case for short just because all of the volume has been selling here. But it's kind of like the same thing that we had on the other side of 07.5s. I see like lots of reasons that we should just be falling out the bottom here and we haven't done it yet.
I think the most bullish thing is on a general higher time frame thing for bonds is that oil is down like $5 over the last couple of weeks. That has not a direct impact. It has like a 1 to 2 week depression.
Yeah, that makes sense. So less inflation from energy.
Yeah, it's not an immediate impact. At the time.
I think I'm gonna have to take this one off. It's been these guys at 06.5 are having a hard time getting filled. Or I could do that.
Well, that's unfortunate. Wish I was still short.
Yeah, but it did not take much for them to go down through there, did it? Problem now is you got the VWAP to contend with. Like, I'm just thinking here, if I had been as quick to realize things were turning around as some of you guys were, and I had gotten short up at 07.5, I would probably have to take it off here at I think I would probably hold off for 0.45, but they usually try and test the VWAP by at least a tick.
Yeah. Also, you got the VWAP.
Yeah, so you can kind of see now in the 10-year what we were talking about before, where all of these offers behind us, like at 07 half, 07, all kind of stayed thick. And then on the downside, you've really only got like the 055 as a target, and that's it.
So annoyed with IB. They only let you have 3 depth of windows. The game
Oh,
more,
yeah.
they only show you can see the bid and ask on all of them. Depth of
Yeah, for trading treasuries, IB isn't the best.
those are pretty good
Oh,
because they're internalized. So
yeah, the chat is really nice. We actually tried using it like I think a year ago when we like first started this chat room, but like a lot of people felt like they got too distracted by it, so they didn't keep doing it.
you gotta have the right.
Right. Yeah, I think it kind of helps if you're
Just
kind
one
of
guy can fuck it.
yeah. Yeah. It's hard because you see a lot of stuff, but then, a lot of it ends up not mattering. Like on that last one, I feel like the only thing that really ended up mattering was that they pulled, the offers all pulled at like 08 and everything, and they didn't want to buy it. And that seemed like the only thing that really ended up mattering. And I thought that, oh well, if it's pulls, they're definitely gonna go through it. So
Ugh, at 9 o'clock yet.
Yesterday, bonds were completely unchanged, right? Lovex Club.
mm. Sorry if I'm that guy. No.
Just gotta sit here and wait and see if DAX wants to make a new high. Or if it wants to fail. The fund is just kind of floating around here. Like, yeah, it's got a little bit weaker.
I don't want to see it down open in the S&P for it to be bullish. Oh yeah, Waddle, we do follow each other.
Man, it's kind of funny because when we started this, I think we had most of the people from Futures.io. But now I think most of our people have come from Reddit and Twitter.
Another trading Discord. Index traders.
Oh, for futures?
I like stocks, but it's just small.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's, man, I've been invited to like a trillion different stock trading groups.
Like 19 guys in there right now. That is
Oh, oh. See, that was one of the reasons why I made this one, because the stock rooms just drive me nuts, because it feels like everybody's just trying to say, oh, hey, here's a stock that's going up, come and join it with me, sort of a thing, you know? It was like everybody's in there trying to shadow other people's trades.
You have like 15,000 stocks to choose from.
Right.
Dude, the Wall Street Bets Discord is.
Oh man, I got in on that.
Oh, yeah,
My favorite Reddit, just to read like what people do in there.
I like their Discord rooms, but I've never actually been in their voice. But there's definitely a lot of cancer in there from time to time.
I'm pretty sure the owner is a huge fraud, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, his name's I think he's been caught like several times sim trading like $1 million and posting his channel.
Oh geez, come on.
Open two accounts, long one, short the other, post the one that wins. Say you're a genius.
There you go.
The Bund VWAP is at 01 or at 03. We're approaching it from the top, so if we were going to turn around, it's going to be pretty close. That's like the most.
They just pulled like 2K off the bid. Sorry.
Oh, no,
in the Bund.
You're asking me?
Yeah, yeah. What instrument were you talking about?
I was talking about the Bund. The Bund.
Gotcha.
The VWAP is the pit VWAP is at 01, and it was trading 03 just now, and that's like the most reliable instrument when it comes to VWAP retracement. It'll come back and bounce off of the VWAP or the mid, like even better than the ES does, it seems.
Really?
In my experience, you know, maybe that's not true, but it seems like it does it more reliably than most other products.
Today's high was 21 last week.
Last week's high. Yeah, I think
22.
yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, once again, Trade the Traders has a good observation in there, but it doesn't necessarily make me sure about what we're going to do in the longer term, because I feel like we could just sit here for a while, or even if we do get a sell, you might get anywhere below 03.5 in the 10-year. They don't want to sell it anymore. So it's probably more like 02, but And the only unusual thing I'm seeing right now is that there's been quite a bit of selling here through the 5-year, and they haven't really ticked down. Kudlau says she doesn't want to make a deal as holding game up. China could end the tit for tat this afternoon. That's interesting. Apparently, Kudlow was talking on CNBC and saying that she is holding up the China deal. He's like saying we could make a deal and just end this all right now, and they don't want to. That's interesting because what I just saw there kind of looked like some buying coming in, especially into the 5-year. But at the same time, the E-mini was moving up there.
DAX makes a new pit high. DAX is kind of running here. Get trade into fives pretty good. Trade into fives both in the 10-year and the 30-year.
This is one of those things I see from time to time that I really hate, where like the 0.5 half and the 10-year looked weak, and the 15 3/4 and the 5-year looked really weak, and nobody sold into it.
Kudlow says he supports what Jay Powell's doing. Bedlow also said something about taxes, which I don't. Just the headline, I really don't know what the hell he's talking about.
But it sounds like that the Republicans are going to try and put in a bill to make the tax cuts permanent, and maybe even change up capital gains tax. Not that they've said that, but I suspect they might. And they're going to put this in like September, like just going into the election. So that's probably what he was referring to.
We got a fucking short one.
It's fives. Yep, the DAX is just running, not stopping. Another 13 minutes before cash open in the ES.
69 is the Rex high.
That's the Eurex high. I start plotting highs at 2 a.m. So I guess I probably missed that. Fund traded 02 again. It's kind of coming off of it. 01 is still VWAP.
Well, I feel like, that was range extension high. We're back to the VWAP. Maybe if they push down, you could get 03.5 or 02, kind of the targets I'm seeing on the downside. No volume at them, but it looks like all of those offers above us are staying pretty firm. There was that short moment where it looked like they were gonna do some buying, and then it didn't follow through.
The DAX is showing a little bit of weakness. It'd be cool if that triggered some upside in the bund. Threes look really attractive here in the 30-year.
Might have a reversal in the 10-year.
Yeah, there's that. Oh,
Barely holding though. 500 contracts.
I think they've actually fallen through it a couple of times. That's the one where 05 is the VWAP. I almost always see a bunch of absorption at the VWAP.
I got filled. Again, I'm on demo, so
Gotcha. The thing I'm wondering right now and trying to keep an eye on is that you do kind of have a profile going here in the 30-year that goes down to about 01. And then, you know, the equivalent of that is 035 to 02 in the 10. So this right here at 05 is really right in the middle.
I'm gonna stay short.
So now you got the VWAP in the 5-year, and we'll see if they decide that they're going to bounce or if they're going to go through. The 30-year went through. I think they might continue down.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what. There's already a 7,600 sitting on the bid at 120 even in the 10-year. And usually, whenever we get down there, the past few times we've been down there, 10,000 contracts will stack up on there.
Oh yeah.
Won't let it trade through. trying to think, it was maybe last Wednesday or last Thursday that we were down there. I can probably look real quick, but at
No,
halves.
it was Monday.
Oh, was it? Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was Monday. We
Oh, yeah,
we
it was.
went down there and it was just like this wall that nobody wanted to attack at all. Nobody
Yeah,
wanted
well, it
anything to
was
do with
like-
it.
There was a lot of size at halves, but nothing would trade even. It's like the 10K, none of them would pull or anything, but a ton
Right.
was trading at 0.5.
Okay, well, so far the 5-year looks like it wants to bounce. 2 ticks up there. Big absorption at 155 on the bid, and then somebody tried to absorb at 157 and they went through him.
ES is coming off a little bit. We got the open in 2 minutes though, or less than 2 minutes, 1:20. Equity cash open.
I'll pull it open. Data for the 5-year. Damn,
Yeah, you should have.
Rider.
You should definitely be getting it. Have you sent an email to AMP?
Email to AMP. I'm waiting from Sierra right now. So
Mm.
we'll see what happens.
Right.
They basically just told me what I'm telling them doesn't make
Right.
time and sales window, and they gave me a guide on how to do it. Here's proof. Like here's a screenshot from 15 minutes ago. Here's a screenshot from now. I'm in sales for other charts, but not
So
for
it's
this
going to be an
one,
up
so-
opens use.
Yeah, it usually takes a bit to convince them that something is really wrong.
Try to buy crude today.
Yeah, I might just pick up Jigsaw though if they don't. They're not gonna.
Oh, gotcha.
Cash open.
Ugh. Yeah, you're gonna get this E-mini chopper around, and we might get a little bit of what is the word? An unreliable level 2. Yeah.
It looks, and as of right now, it looks like they're buying it. They sold the 30-year right at the open. 500 contracts hit the bid. A little less than 500. Almost 2,000 hit the bid in a 10-year. I guess 18.5 did.
We're below the pivot on 30-year.
That last tick definitely looked strong, and you could kind of see all of the level 2 adjusting to it, but man, I can't tell you how many times I've seen something like that, and then the E-mini just becomes a blender, and they do that back the other way like 50 times.
Yeah. DAX is pretty weak, so things have really got to change there if the ES is going to drive higher. Feeling like getting long at 03. But I don't know, the Bund is pretty weak. It's trading at the VWAP now of 01. I'll give it a minute before I do anything.
I'm still watching the 5-year here. Especially this price right here. And they get below that price. Okay,
Yep.
so they're attacking it.
Oh wow.
Okay. Yeah, I was just watching that 50.5 in the 5-year, and there was an iceberg there, but they went through that pretty quickly. So this continues, and still going to be watching that edge at 03.5 and definitely the 02. I have a sneaking suspicion that they'll just go to the edge of the profile and then stop.
Fund is at mid now, but if it fails there, no, there's not really any telling where it'll go. Jeez.
Do I cover these bonds or what? All right, I got it. So they're free to go down.
Right.
Where were you short from in the bonds?
I got 08s, 9s, and
Very nice.
yeah, I wanted to be bigger, so
That's pretty good. I mean, 8 ticks in the 30 years, pretty good.
yeah, I think that's pretty good recently. I think we've only been in like a 18 tick range.
Yeah. Well, rotations there. That's about the biggest you can get. Okay, so the E-mini just tanked.
Yeah,
It's an up
I think it's
open
my
though,
turn
so
around here. Watching O1s would be nice, but I think I'll take O2s if it gives them to me. Because the DAX is really getting soft here.
We're getting out just because that E-mini not good.
I know that Treasuries still feel heavy, like they're really not reacting to that big back equities.
Well, they did uptick. I'm kind of wondering for the guy that just got out of his short, what was the trigger to get out of it? Just the fact that it's at the 01 and that's the kind of the edge there. I guess that kind of makes sense. It's kind of a
Oh my gosh, dang, twos went way too fast. Okay, I'm gonna go, I'm actually long twos. Probably shouldn't be, but I am.
we'll try a long. I'll wait for this whole thing.
on Prime Day for Amazon, sales surpassed Cyber Monday, Black Friday, and the previous Prime Day.
What?
Yeah.
Everybody was telling me don't even bother with it.
I bought a few things.
Wow.
I'm just surprised Cyber Monday and Black Friday. That's pretty.
You know, I feel a little confused at the moment because when I look at the level 2 above us, things still look really thick, and I feel like if we had to move up, that it would take a lot to get through that. But then the 5-year, went through that 15.5 just for a little bit and ticked back up and kind of showing signs that it wants to reverse, and so and the bids are absorbing too.
I blew out at 01 for -1. Fun.
Yeah, they're really absorbing.
I'll just see if I was right to do that or not. I hate playing ranges. Like, it's been trending down all morning, and all I want to do is get long. I feel like I should probably just wait till after Hal speaks. Yeah, I'll probably be back in like 15 minutes.
It opens up, trades down from 829 where the housing starts. 60.
I'm kind of glad that I took a tick and I'm not messing with this, but I don't like my previous 2 trades at all. And there's a tick up. And that was quite an encouraging uptick. And the E-mini took another dive there.
I think how it's going to trade below 2806. That's to trade below there. It was very bullish.
I smell fear.
Bit of a battle going on. No one's selling. Or sorry, 5.
Yeah. And I don't think that those people that bought 05 half were doing it because they're like, oh, bonds are going up, this is a good scalp. I think those were people that are scared of something else.
I bought it because I thought it was. They pulled all the orders off. Yeah, I just scratched out of it. Maybe it was good. I don't know. I don't know.
It's gonna be really finicky here.
Yeah, so I'm glad I'm out.
Long O2s.
So it feels to me like they might be buying because the E-mini is getting these strong pushes down, and it's kind of scaring a couple of people. But the problem is when you're trying to trade that correlation, a lot of the time you don't get paid from it. But
Yeah,
maybe,
you gotta look at the yen.
yeah. So it's kind of but maybe we get lucky and we actually get real fear in the market and push us up. Oh, big battle going on here in the 5-year, 10-year for sure. That last leg up in the E-mini barely made a dent in the delta. It's still overall selling.
Nasdaq's right at 7,400. Looks like there's room for about 25 points of downside. And it's about to get below that.
And I definitely got the wrong price here. I should have clicked into 05. Kind of silly to have thought that when they pushed there that first time that they had to go through, you know? Oh, good morning. I don't want to deal with this zipper here. There that 05 half pulls again. Are they gonna trade through it this time?
Nasdaq back below 7,400.
I'm so tempted to buy into 05 half there, but I know that it's not. If I was gonna do something, we should be buying here.
Only 8 minutes. Waddle, what part of Texas?
Houston. Houston.
They used to have an office in Dallas.
You had an office in Dallas? Oh, very cool.
So they sit there forever. They make 05 look weak. Absorbed maybe, I think it was a little bit more than that, but around 2,700 contracts. And then it ticks down with only 1,400. Which you would think would be pretty negative, but we're in a 2-tick range, so of course they tick back up. Just going nowhere.
$30 is yesterday's. Two minutes till.
Talking dickhead.
Yep. You're kind of cutting in and out. You might want to adjust your voice activation or use a key.
I am using a key, but I think I don't hold it down long enough.
Nah, it was a Waddle was the one that was cutting in and out. You sound fine.
I have to use it. The channel doesn't let me do. Or sorry, I have to use push to talk. The channel doesn't
Oh,
let me-
really?
Yeah, voice activation. I don't know why.
Oh, you know why? Because I can fix that. There. I hadn't given you permissions yet because I thought you were just going to ask a couple of questions yesterday and then disappear, like so many.
Well, I mean, trading's hard.
Let's see.
Pretty fucking hard, man.
Okay, let's see. Do we get the? Does he have another statement today?
I've got nothing on the squawk so far. Nothing on Twitter. Just hold my breath.
Let's see here. There's the C-SPAN stream.
Oh, yeah, I got it too.
I've been sitting on this even bid in 30-year the last 30 minutes and I haven't been filled.
Yeah. I think that this is like a 2-day testimony thing. So we had his opening statement yesterday, and now it's just going to be more questions, which could keep us slow. A little disappointed because I really didn't catch and kind of got fooled even by when it turned around at the very beginning of the session, and that kind of looks like that was really the only good trade.
Yeah. And
They
then
left at 5. It's pretty quick. I have nothing of interest so far.
It's ticked back and forth here now 11 times, so there's a pretty good chance that they're gonna try and push it out of this range now, but I can't really predict which way it's gonna go because of the way that it got in was weird. Yeah, it's no directional edge.
If I had to guess, it would be up, but what do I know? It just feels like equities are a little soft here, but they're pretty back and forth as well.
I'm kind of leaning towards up too, just based on all the stats.
Well, the volume is certainly up over the past 30 minutes.
Yeah, the 30-minute average on volume is about 2,000 contracts per minute. In the 10-year, that is.
Yeah.
Long twos and the 30. Probably just going to take threes, but we'll see how fast it goes.
One of the problems with this area too is that they definitely have been getting people to buy O5 half. They just can't get through it.
Are you looking at the 10?
Yeah.
Come
Is
on.
from the lows. That's actually again below 7,400.
Wow.
Yes, looks weak, but there is a little bit of buyers trying to hold it.
Crude inventories in 20 minutes.
I got 075 is, yeah, 075 is Globex low and ES.
Okay, looks like they're finally gonna hold a solid bid for a bit.
Jeez, I can't believe that.
6/4 is a pretty big pivot. In the minis.
The DAX keeps touching its VWAP, its pit VWAP at 42.9. I think that's kind of what, I mean, if I had to put something on it, that would be what's kind of holding up here. I mean, there's a pretty decent buyer in ES that won't just let it fall, which is really annoying because as soon as it does, 30-year will go.
Right.
Well, it'll offer fives, I bet.
Well, they came right down to that big order at 28.08 even, and there was some absorption there.
I'm leaning on the yen for the bonds, not so much.
I mean, that was a lower low, so I think he might. I'm hoping that they just kind of pull back here a little bit and turn around and then just blow right through that 28.08. That was kind of a weird spike in the bond too.
DAX is below its VWAP now. Trading 37. The life of me, I don't
It's
know
the
why.
fifth time this morning, NASDAQ trading below 7,400.
It looks like it wants to just dive down so badly, but they're just not quite ready to do it.
So annoying.
Got a 10 lot on an oil right now. We got evens long too.
I'm a little concerned that bonds were able to tick back down to 0.45. Granted, it's only 8 contracts, but
Many traded into, not many, right? Into 04.
yeah, only 47 traded into 0.4 the last time it touched. And on the other side, when it touched 0.6, there was about 100. Come on, just do it. Just sell it already. Sell the E-mini. Get it over with. Okay, now they're attacking it. There you go.
Just killing me. I feel like the bond should be offering 5 right now, which is ridiculous. Can't believe it's still here. It's S&P is selling like it is.
Okay, well, they broke through the big order that was at 28.08 even. So I'd have to say there's a pretty good possibility that they break a new low. And there was. They didn't. They. I think they traded through it. I can't see it on the DOM anymore, but I do think they traded through it because I can see a cumulative delta spike there.
You talking about fives in the
Um,
10-year? What are you talking?
308 even.
Oh, I can't see it anymore.
yeah, here I post the picture. You can see that white line disappeared, and at the end there's a cumulative delta push down.
Well, now for sure.
Oh my gosh, come on, push the bun to go ahead and move through 03.
I was really starting to get worried when it ticked down to 0.45 in the 10-year. That now if the 5-year can just break out through the top of this 16 quarter, maybe we could move back up. There's going to be strong resistance there at 16 quarter in the 5-year though, I think. That actually, that touch of 0.45 might kind of qualify as a higher low / one tick failure. So maybe we do get a move up.
Kind of a volume at price ledge 3 to 4 and the 30. Not really
Yep.
the same in the 10, but in the 30, a lot of volume is traded between 3 and 1.
Yeah, but same with the 5. Same with the 5 there at 16 quarter. It's kind of interesting because, excuse me, the 5 and the 30 have both been in this kind of chop zone, like 3 to 4 tick chop zone, but the 10-year actually did break out up, only for a tick, but they did break out through the top of their range. Okay, well, ES did make a new low, but probably we were saying 2806 for things to really get crazy, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of moving back up a little bit on not a lot of buying, so that's not great. Oh, man. Wow. Smashed through ones and they immediately offer 1,000 now. They immediately offered 800. Now it's up to 1,000. Probably just gonna blow out at evens. I was long twos. It really blows though.
Man, didn't they do something like this yesterday?
Sure. I didn't really get to watch yesterday a whole lot. Up to 1,200 now. Offer at a 1 in the 30.
I remember yesterday, I think it was in the 5-year, we got something like that where we ticked down and immediately there was a really huge offer on it. And then it kind of sat there for a little while. The offer moved up and then completely disappeared and ended up not mattering. Maybe somebody was trying to trade there and they didn't get it, I don't know. I'm definitely starting to see more of these big spoof orders in this market though.
John Grady, the gas station.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to or not. This is annoying.
Well, if that 1370 at 01 pulls it all, then we're probably going to get a decent move up, but there's no way to know. I have a hard time knowing if it's going to do that or not. The market doesn't really seem to be reacting to it. I mean, only 16 orders have gone through since it showed up.
Sellers trying again. NES. I feel that he's going to give up though. All right, yeah, I blew out at evens like a scrub. And then they put them back. Damn you.
Yeah, you get out when the 400 hit evens.
Yeah, when they started to really pull it, and then as soon as I blew out of it, they put some of them back up. Oh, well, look at that. I'm glad I got out.
Yeah, they did get the tick down.
Ugh.
So they bounced them to 2806s.
We're buying fives in the 10 kind of aggressively. They sell them immediately, but
Yeah, I want to see if they try and hit back at evens and if there's any absorption. Well, it's 746. I definitely feel like there's still reason to be suspicious about the whole thing, but I mean, they did stack quite a bit there at 145 even when they eventually traded through it.
Oil inventories in 5 minutes.
think we're going to probably see some strange things here because the knob spread is really breaking out of its range here with the 30-year going down like that.
DAX is running up like crazy right now. Looking like it wants to go test its
Yeah, 69
overnight
is at
high.
your X high.
Okay, that time that we ticked down, the big order followed it down.
Yeah, we've got somebody bidding the DAX there. They bid those 100+ lot orders, like probably 150. It's one guy. And that's like huge size for the DAX. So their bid
Are you
160.
watching the big contract or the small contract?
I believe the big contract. The tick size is 0.5.
They're both 0.5.
Okay, no,
One's a multiple of 25 and one's.
I'm watching the big contract. Oh wow. Sold through the bid on the DAX. That big bid. Probably long at evens in the bond. Probably scratch it though. I'm not gonna let it go very far. That knob spread's got to come in a little bit.
Might have leaked the inventory number earlier.
I'll post a headline here that I have about that chair. Oh fuck, I can't. Jesus.
Okay, well, not really any big order in the 30-year anymore, is there?
Oil suppression.
Crude was a 5.8 million build versus a 3.5 million expected draw. But then gasoline drew way more than expected.
Well, that big order did not give me anything, did it? Now it's gone.
About 220 bought into the offer just there, 30-year.
We've been in this range for about 90 minutes.
Despite this takedown, the banking index and the S&P making the highs. Technology and energy is the drag today.
Yeah, it looks like Nasdaq is firmly staying below 7,400. It's been battling that all morning. September. Yen is still quite firm this morning. You know, lately I feel like the correlation is that stocks go down, bonds go down.
It's kind of done a little bit of that lately, hasn't it? What was it, Monday, where I was like, it's never a good thing when they're both going down.
I think that's true.
It means that treasuries are going down for their own reasons, and the E-mini just really doesn't like that they're getting higher rates. Yeah.
Bonds can't keep it dead. It's nothing here.
Crude trading near pit highs. Crude.
Yeah, I'm having a great day. I was really worried for a second.
So now we're rotating. It looks like banks are gonna pull back a little bit, and energy seems to be upticking here. Tech is not holding though.
Well, this move in the knob spread is really interesting.
Do you just calculate the knob spread yourself, or are you watching the actual contract?
Calculating it myself.
What's the knob spread?
So it's basically the spread between the 30-year and the 10-year. Let me see if I can get it from further back. So there it is on the daily chart. So like, through this whole range, the knob has been kind of just flat, and now today it looks like it's just getting a strong push up. And so, well, hold on.
Oh my god, come on. Some follow through here.
And it's not like it's breaking out. It's just kind of very slowly pushing higher, driven mostly by the selling in the 30-year. So it's like we've got a bear steepener going on or something. Now, if that spread really comes back up, but bonds don't overall move up with it, that could be really good, right? That could give us a lot more room before inversions and so forth. Everybody's worried about the yield curve inverting.
Yeah, a couple months ago I lost my ass on some Eurodollar curve steepening bets. I was holding long when like the December 19 and the December of 20 spread inverted. It went negative, 1 basis point or whatever they are now. And I was long at like 8 basis points.
Mm.
No fun. Crude coming way off its high now. Or its pit high anyway. Energy sector in the S&P doesn't really seem to care though.
Oil looks great. 3 times this has ever happened, where the last inventory was down like $3, 2 consecutive down days, and like way down. And now it's up like the 3 times that's ever happened. It's closed up $1.50 on average from 1040.
Interesting.
I think I'm wrong on being long bonds right now. Okay. Those are
Same, I just got out for -1 tick.
Hey, how are you able to get a stat that specific so quickly?
What's that?
I built a program. Takes 1 minute data going back to 2005, and
So you just wrote a little formula to set up this situation. Look, just really quickly, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. I can just test pretty much anything very quickly.
Does it matter like what kind of a stat it is? Like, is it harder to do something based off of the VWAP versus like the overnight high and low?
I look at closes, very important. Previous days, most, like, let's say, I don't want to say too much, but I just think like there's a negative zero correlation between moves. So it's important to look out for time periods that went up a lot the previous day or went down a lot the previous day. I think that stuff is really important for short-term trading.
All right.
I think looking at what happens on announcements is pretty important. And day of the week. But again, the stats is just there's another reason to put in or out of the trade. On pretty well. Everybody has a reason.
Yeah.
Execute, you know?
Well, the one of the things that we've gone back and forth a lot in here is like just the overall tendency of an instrument. You know, like for instance, is the 10-year more or less likely to pass the overnight high-low in the regular session, for instance? And I felt like that was definitely true, and I had seen some stats that was true, but it definitely hasn't been the case the past few months, right? It's kind of things like that.
See, I try to look at directional probability versus how likely something is to go above or below.
I get you.
Yeah, that doesn't really give you a trade idea.
You're saying like when the situation is like this, is it more likely to be an up or a down bar?
Yeah, exactly. Over the course of the day or the next 2 hours.
I got you.
It seems all morning for me anyway. There was, I think, 3 of my 5 losers this morning. If I would have just taken a 1-tick winner, they wouldn't have been. 2 of them ended up being 2-tick losers. One of them was a 1-tick loser. But if I would have just taken 1 tick, it would have had a decent morning. Woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Man, Bitcoin futures are kind of all over the place today. Oh, you took -5? I thought that you had caught that short. I guess that was Igor that caught the short, huh?
Yeah, no, that was not me.
Um,
I think I took a one tick winner. That was my only winner today. I plus one, and then it went, whatever 8 ticks.
yeah, I think it'll take us a little bit if we keep doing this voice chat thing to kind of readjust.
Yeah, sorry if I'm talking too much or any impact on trading.
You're okay. I think that you've pointed out some really good stuff, so I don't know. I kind of feel like for whatever reason today, I was just felt much more like entering into an order. Like we've been in this range here at 05 for forever. Normally I've been saying, well, maybe there's a really good trade that's coming out of this, but I just don't know which way it's going to go, and so I just don't touch it. But I did try taking a trade in there.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have. Like this morning. Well, I mean, really, whenever it started to move south, I should have just held on and not covered. But it's like, I think I remember I was short 8 and 7s. It went off for 7s, and anyway,
Right.
it kind of faked me out a little bit. They like lifted 7s again and put some size there. And so as soon as it went off for again, I went ahead and slapped out of it, which, I probably should have just stayed in it and watched for a re-entry, but I kind of had a long bias for whatever reason. I kind of felt like, we failed to, I guess we traded 28s last night and then came all the way up. So I kind of thought we were going to break back out of this range to the upside, which was probably not a great to come in with that kind of bias.
Yeah, well, they're definitely being tricky today, right? Like I really got faked out by the fact that all of the offers were pulling, because there's always going to be a big order up at the top, but to see it pull away is like really unusual, and I was just really surprised that we didn't get a flood of buy orders and make a, even if it was only for a tick, to make a new high there, right? And then down here on the other side, we had that huge sell order in ZB that just kind of showed up for a little bit and then disappeared.
Right.
And then you've just got, it looks like we've got a lot of spreading going on. So the order flow is going to be kind of hard to read. Especially if you're in the 10-year, because what they're doing is they're spreading between the 10 and the 30, and they're pushing the 30 down, and the 10 is just staying flat.
Right.
So I saw this one time before. It was a little bit different of a setup, and I don't know if I have it recorded or, well, I definitely have it recorded, but I just don't remember when it happened. But it was a much more clear spread trade, because you could see there was an iceberg on the offer in one instrument and on the bid in the other instrument, and it was like huge size. And then I thought that, like, oh, okay, the spread is doing this, and so we're probably going to see the 10-year move up or whatever it was. And then instead what happened was the 30-year went down and the 10-year didn't go anywhere. and it was like the 30 went like 16 ticks or something like that, and the 10-year didn't move at all. So I'm wondering if we were getting something like that again.
Yeah, there's somebody's trying to net out a spread trade.
Yeah.
I kind of like work on the offer. We're at the lows on 30-year, but no one's
Right.
down. So, like, I want to short, but there's downs. Like, it looks good, but it also looks terrible at the same time.
Nah, when they don't line up, like you got your 3 DOMs and you reset them all together, and then you wait for a little bit, and then after a while you notice like this one is exactly where it was before, and this one is like 4 ticks lower, and this one is like 2 ticks higher, that's, in my opinion, a signal that you probably just want to sit on your hands. Because what's happening is the spreading action is the most dominant factor, and when spreading is the most dominant factor, unless we're getting like a serious breakout, things will tend to just do a mean reversion, and you're not going to get any kind of a trend. You know, because it's like, yeah, they're selling the 30, so that could push us down overall, but they're also buying the 10, so there's kind of this push and pull that keeps it from moving.
They weren't getting around the 10 though. There's
Well, they did tick down. They did tick 04, 5 orders, but
yeah. After I said I was thinking about it, and you convinced me not to. I'm not blaming you or anything. I'm just saying it's just kind of funny.
yeah.
It had me potentially or trading's hard. Trading's fun.
Yeah. Well,
Trading's
it's
fun.
summer trading too. It's you know.
Trading fucking sucks.
I was looking at Nasdaq like a week ago and turned to ES and like trying out like Treasuries, and yeah, it's very different.
Dude, all right. So at my old job, I used to trade 1,000 ZB, 2,000 5-year, and 1,000 oil, like 3,000 S&P, and that was the most stressful thing.
Can only imagine. The thing with like especially oil, because in the 10-year, the thing that's stressful about the 10-year is you have a trade, and maybe you really believe in the trade, and it goes a tick against you, and you're gonna be okay, but you still have to sit there for like 5 minutes to get an uptick and to finally have it go your way or something like that, right? But maybe it only goes against you a tick and you're okay. In oil, it's like, you know, the oil goes all over the place, and you have to give it a certain amount of room, and then if you're wrong, like you can just be like spectacularly wrong, and you have these massive moves against you in oil, and it was too stressful for me.
I think that's the same with any market. Like when I was trading, we were trading a lot of stuff. Have to be very short oriented.
Gotcha.
Operated on like a time horizon. Like when you're wrong, it's pretty bad because I'm sure you noticed that trades tend to track. When it's making a move, like,
Yeah, but that's what I was going off of earlier. I used to be, or I tend to be pretty good at when we get a trend. Like I used to be able to just see it would be really slow in the morning and say, hey, they're going to push it up and hold it and make 16 ticks in the 10 years sometimes. And I did really good from like December to March because it was doing that all the time. And then all of a sudden, just for no reason, it turned into a mean reversion market, and it's like they almost never break through any kind of support or resistance at all and go nowhere during the regular session.
First day I traded the Nasdaq, I made it was like
So yeah, because I, you know, 3 months ago I would have said, oh yeah, Treasuries tend to trend. Now I'm not so sure. I feel like I need to go back and research that again because it's not doing it.
I think I don't know if trend is the right word. Maybe they're very persistent. That's the way to put it.
Oh right.
In terms of how once it picks a direction.
Yeah, it's I would describe it as the moves are typically pretty smooth. You know, if you get
Yeah.
on board, you know, it's typically just going to take out a level and take out a level and take out a level. It's not going to do. Usually,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not going to
Yeah,
do a
yeah,
bunch
yeah.
of like back ticking and trying to spook people out. Especially in the 10-year, I kind of have to deal with some back ticking in the 30-year, but in the 10-year, it's typically pretty smooth. If it
Oh,
does
yeah.
what it needs to.
Yeah, like this move down that
So
we had this
being on
morning and
the-
never
being on
went
the
back.
wrong side of that kind of sucks.
I get you.
I think I'm more of a counter version. Okay. So when I get in too early and those kind of days happen,
Yeah. So the thing I've been trying to do now is that, you know, I still like the trends and I would like to be on the trend, and I feel like I have an okay feel of when that's happening, but you can't just live on that. So I've been trying to just only do counter trend, and I don't know, it's hard progress, slow, but I'm still not there. I still don't feel like I figured it out.
what is going on?
Yeah, crude's back to making new pit highs.
45. I was long yesterday. Lost. That.
Energy sector is following oil up pretty good, and then banks are really strong. So ES, I mean, at the very least, in the short term, is not fixing to go make new lows or anything. But I don't really see Treasuries moving a whole lot either way.
Yeah. So
Kind of stuck.
So I got a question for you guys before I go. So what are things that you look at? Like I was talking about how when the three of them don't line up, it's maybe not a good trade. Are there other things that you guys like to look at that tell you to just stay out?
I don't. So maybe Waddle. But I think what you guys described in terms of looking at three of the similar markets and seeing that there's some kind of irregularities going on. I think generally that's what I look for when I'm more counter trend. I'm trying to find the low or the top in something. That's kind of what I look out for. But I can't. That's as much as an ambiguous answer I can give.
Yeah, what I watch and what usually keeps me out of bad trades, is just market correlation. So I'm watching the 10-year, or I guess I have it not really modeled. I have it kind of half-ass programmed here, but I'm watching the 10-year, the Bund, the E-mini, and the DAX. And so I need all of those. I'm only going to go full size if all of those are doing what they need to do, you know, that confirms my bias in the 30-year. So if the Bund is moving down and the 10-year is moving down, and then equity, both of those equity markets are moving up together, then I'll have full size and I'll be looking for a short in the 30. And then, but it's like right now the DAX is throwing me well, they're all kind of throwing me that it's going to go down and has been. But it's like right now I have a short bias. But if I have a bunch of mixed signals like I had most of this morning actually, where you know equities are throwing me a long signal for the 30-year, and the Bund and the 10-year are throwing me short signals, and it's kind of tough, you know. It's tough to have a bias. I definitely won't trade full size in that kind of environment. But like right now, I'm just now getting like a full, all 5 markets are showing me that I should be short the 30-year. So it's a little bit late because we're, you know, of course, touching lows. So this was just kind of a jacked up morning.
Yeah.
But in short, I'm just watching market correlations. Everything has to be lined up for me to be on full size. And yeah.
Well, they definitely sold a little bit there, but 7K holding it at 04. Oh, the first day I traded NQ, I made 55 ticks. The second day, I hit my daily stop limit on my first trade in 3 seconds. Oh, man. Yeah. I
I
definitely.
think NASDAQ futures was one of the first instruments I ever traded years and years ago. Lost a bunch of money.
Well, I head out. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
All right, take it easy.